Hey everybody, it is March, and today I'll be bringing you a in-depth look and review at Red Hood in the Outlaws, issue 18, part of the Requiem arc and whatnot. So first off, this cover, once again, amazing. An amazing cover. And let's open this bad boy up. So we start off, Jason, he's like sitting on this slab, and he's like in this alternate reality of his, coma-induced, whatever. So, again, there's this, as always, at the beginning of the Red Hood comics, he's having his internal dialogue and stuff, talking about how it was difficult for him as a kid always to sleep, because either his mother would choke on her own vomit, or his dad would start shooting, or Bruce Wayne would even, he wouldn't know if, Bruce got home safely, as his patrols in Batman, or he himself would be out patrolling the streets. So he's never been really a sleeper. And open up the next page, we see, he says, my name is Jason Todd, I came from a junior Batman partner called Robin, to later being the Robin who got beat to death with a crowbar by the Joker. After that, I was the Red Hood, a hot-tempered vigilante determined to sweep the Gotham City streets of any trash the Batman left behind. So notice the past tense on the hot-tempered Red Hood. But he's apparently in this all-cast place. I don't know what that is. I only started reading Red Hood titles issue number 9. Night Owls. And title for this issue is Last Chance, The Last Dance, Last Chance, Last Dance for Death. And I love it about these comics because it tends to be a certain supernatural-esque humor to them, or at least when Jason Todd is talking. I believe that's on purpose, because, Jensen Ackles, who's a dean in the show, voiced him in the Under the Red Hood animated movie, and, I love Supernatural. So, next page, we see this beautiful splash of, the Joker, this giant Joker just, tormenting Jason here as he continues on. But at first he believes it's Ducray who's waking him up. At next page, we see we're at the Wayne Manor, and Alfred is taking care of Jason, and he's telling Bruce how he should be in a hospital. What can I do to suffer all these burns that he has? And Bruce is saying, he has the best chance of surviving here. This is a family matter. And Alfred is disputing, no, if we get Dr. Tompkins to do it, he's like, no. So the next page, we see Alfred's kind of sad looking, and he says, well, you know best. Okay, he's just avoiding conflict, really. And Jason, again with his internal dialogue, just says, he calls it, that's Alfred Ease for you have your cowl up your butt. And I'm not going to waste my time trying to pull it out. So then Alfred says he's going to reduce the medication, and says that the long-term effects of the acid being poured on his face there should be no long-term physical effects. So, who knows for next issue what we'll see him look like. So then there's a very tender moment where he gives him a kiss on the forehead, and a little smick sound effect there, and he says, come back to us, you Prince of Gotham. And that's very touching, Jason Todd, the Prince of Gotham, and he continues on by saying, home is not the same without you here, Master Jason. It never is. And he tells Bruce that, I know this falls on deaf ears, sir, but this is not your fault. And to which Bruce says, that's a very polite lie. And what's very powerful here is Alfred says, the Joker came at me through all of you. If not for me, Jason would have excuse me. Jason would have died years ago. Stabbed or shot in Crime Alley, not far from where your parents were killed. You gave him a purpose. More, gave him a life. Something the Joker has not been able to take away from him, no matter how often or as hard as he has tried. Damn. That is very powerful, because a lot of times the dispute comes about when it comes to the Robins, is that, what if, Bruce hadn't taken, them adopted them? Or, what if perhaps he gave them a program where, like, they could really, like, spread their wings and fly? I guess, like, what if Dick Grayson became, like, a world star gymnast, Olympian or something like that, instead of becoming Robin and then Nightwing? Or, what if Tim eventually, was put into something where he could, become like the next Steve Jobs, I guess. But when it comes to Jason, that's very true. I mean, how safe is Gotham City? Or is Wayne Manor the only safe place in Gotham City? As it stands now, it's kind of 50-50. Or more like, 75%. But, we wonder how long that'll be until that's 100%. But, yes, Prince of Gotham. It's a very nice title for Jason. But we see that I love the art in here. It's our guest artist is Tyler Kirkham, and as Alfred's leaving the room as he says this, and we see the internal dialogue with Jason, and we see a lot of symbolic imagery and flashbacks to the death of the family arc. And that's another thing I like about this comic is that they keep the Joker alive in the comic. And as just Bruce is sitting in his chair doubled over in sadness with his head down, and Jason in his little hospital bed, makeshift hospital bed. Again, we see Bruce is talking to himself and saying how he knew at some point early on that he didn't have to worry about Jason. That he could defend himself and be, well on his own. And we see like a little flashback of him and Jason like training, and it's a nice take on the Robin outfit. I like the design, and we cut back to Jason when he's in his dream sequence there. The Joker is just tormenting him, just this giant Joker just coming down with a punch and killing with a giant crowbar. And Jason has to like run away, and he finds a time bomb of like dynamite under this little piece of wood, and he he's running. He like takes it off and runs up the Joker's like knee and freaking stuffs it in his mouth and just explodes. And this whole page right there of that is absolutely gorgeous, like grotesquely gorgeous, and very nice. So now we hear at Ducray pops out of the corner there as Jason's kind of covered in blood and stumbling away from the wreckage of the explosion there, and she says, "There's nothing I can do to undo the damage you have done to this place. It's the all cast there, and Jason replies, this is on him, not me. To which he says, if only that were true, pup. If only that were true. So, then we cut to the next page, and we see basically almost all of the Bat family in a pile, just dead. Very reminiscent of Batman and Robin issue 17, which I also loved because it was entirely like a dream sequence, which is another reason I really love this. And everyone but Batman, we see just in a pile, presumably dead. And we see here Ducray telling him the truth is, after you left the all cast, after you went back to the world, you continue to let your life be defined by the actions of that man. You became a killer, lashing out at people who may or may not have deserved it. Eventually, you will hurt all those you have cared for. In that way, how are you different from the Joker? And just, that really ticks off Jason. So it's like, don't you dare, compare me to him, and blah, blah, blah. And, which, that is a very powerful statement. I think in the previous issue, we kind of see that in what Jason tells, or not tells, but says about Damian, how, hopes that, he can come around before that hatred burns him up on the inside. And, that shows growth in the character of Jason, I believe. And, but, she replies to him, why? Because you have friends, because you have people in your life who love you. And, Jason says, that is one reason, yes. Next page we see a gruesome shot of Roy and Starfire just hanging from a tree, and to which it looks like Jason is very conflicted as he says, I do love them, I do. And Ducray replies to him, that is not possible. You cannot live in the past and the present at once. Not without one reaching out and destroying the other. You have to let go of one. It's a Zen proverb there, actually. Let go or be dragged. Zen proverb of the day. But yes, he says that the ones closest to you will suffer the most. How long do you think they can continue to live and thrive in the inferno of rage that burns in your heart? They love you with their hearts wide open, yet all you allow in return is the hollow actions of a man going through the motions. I love Ducray. I had never seen Ducray until this issue. I had to go on the Comic Vine and learn where else she showed up. But powerful stuff. I hope to see her again. Maybe in some like Star Wars-esque ghost form and stuff. That's a beautiful character, Ducray. But cut to next page and we see the Bat family, like Nightwing, Batgirl, Alfred, Tim, and Damian even are like trying to grab hold of Jason, and like he has his mask on now. Like I don't understand. Like apparently, like his mask gets put on him, and he's again having an internal dialogue with himself, saying, this is how I'm trying to distance myself from the past by destroying it. And he's got his two guns and he's like shooting, and he's still like basically naked, except for his little boxers there and this weird like glowing alien symbols on his chest. And you see, next page it's like, he's getting taken down by all of the Bat family members, and there's a shot of Damian, as he's pulling him down, and as his guns are getting wrestled away from him, and his hand is just the only thing that really surfaces there. We see Batman grabbing his arm and pulling him up out of, the rest of the Bat family. And, we see also in, real life what's going on is Bruce he's sitting on Jason's hospital bed, and he has his hand, and, next page we see Batman, and Jason is now transformed into Wingman, and the Cray is like disappeared and stuff, and there's a tree in the background that's kind of dead. We see the moon and what all on the background. Beautiful art again, beautiful art. So Bruce says it's time to come back home for good, and as Jason lifts up his little Wingman helmet cowl, he says, "There's no place for me there, Bruce. I've tried to be the good soldier, but even as part of Batman Inc., I failed you again." So, now Batman, he has his hand on his shoulder, and he says, "There's too much talk about blame between us, Jason. There always has been. We have to let go. We have both done things we regret, but the one thing I will never apologize for is taking a chance on you." And you see Jason just bawling with tears. And as the page progresses on this, we see that the tree begins to sprout leaves and the sun starts to come out, which is a very, very nice touch. And on the two last pages, we see Jason comes to, and very little word, just face shots of Jason and Bruce there. And he says, last thing Jason says is, "I'm so," and Bruce cuts him off by saying "shush," and we get a very, very beautiful, tender splash shot of them hugging with the light. It's just very beautiful. I'm not going to show you. You got to pick it up because it's just absolutely glorious. And that's the end. That's the end. And like I said, this was my favorite Red Hood and Outlaws comic so far. Just beautiful, beautiful comic. And I must say, this is exactly what I've wanted since, even before I started reading Red Hood and the Outlaws. Like, the character of Red Hood, this should have happened a long time ago. Like, this resolve of emotions is, finally giving closure to the death in the family story arc. And it's really beautiful. It makes me really miss Scott LaBelle, because this is his last one. And I actually, Tyler Kirkham, I love his art, and this was absolutely amazing. I mean, the upcoming artist that we're going to have is he actually did the cover here, Miko Suyan, I think his name is. I think Blonde did the color for it. So that's cool. But this is what I've wanted. And also, as far as the Requiem arc, there's not really anything about that. I mean, assumingly, Bruce is doubled over in sadness because of this takes place after Damian has died, so he's extra sad. But I didn't really care, because the whole death of Damian came as a surprise, really. So I wasn't really expecting really anything Damian related. But yeah, I've wanted this for so long, to see like the progression of Jason Todd and Red Hood, and finally I have it. I'm just overjoyed. I love this comic. I absolutely love this comic. And I said to myself, after this whole death of the family story arc, all of the Bat titles, I think, are really going to have to step it up. And Red Hood does not disappoint. Red Hood 18 does not disappoint. And I even heard that Nightwing 18 was really good. I didn't pick that up, but it looks like that's exactly what's happening. You know, all the Bat titles are really doing their job, and I think that now that Jason has resolved these emotions, you know, it begs the question, you know, he's the reason why Batman is the Dark Knight, you know. Now this is resolved in some ways, you know, what impact will that make on Bruce Wayne or Batman as the character? And what impact will it have on Jason himself, you know? Will he continue to wear the mask or the red bat? Or, you know, because I think with that, you know, he's really keeping, you know, his darkest moments alive in that, you know. I think he might actually need a new outfit, you know. It seems like Starfire has gone through many as the story, as these issues have gone along. And, you know, will he continue to kill people even? Like, it seems like he wouldn't try to kill anybody anymore after that, you know, or, you know, who knows, because Jason Tonio, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is taking over. You know, my hope is that he continues in the direction that Scott LaBelle was doing here. That's what I hope. Or maybe will Jason Todd become the White Knight of Gotham City, or in some fashion will he, you know, progress through, you know, break out of his shell, you know, and really live up to that. You know, he's really like killed his demons, or at least it appears that way from what we see there. You know, I've fantasized about seeing that almost exactly. I mean, in my head it was a little bit different. You know, there was a little bit more dialogue towards Bruce, and, you know, with ending with him possibly stealing that one Batmobile with the giant red bat on it. In my head, you know, for obvious reasons, you know, they met him, he stole wheels, you know, resolving the problems, he steals the car. Finally, you know. So yeah, if you want to pick up the Red Hood, I think Red Hood 18 would be a beautiful place to start. A beautiful place to start, and yeah. So this comic gets a 5 out of 5, a 10 out of 10. Freaking amazing comic. Go pick it up. The art is fantastic. Freaking, you know, Jason Todd has now become, you know, if he continues on this road, you know, he's probably gonna become my favorite Robin. Probably, you know, or Bat family member or whatever. But yeah, is that really all I wanted to say? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I keep pausing. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Yeah, that's it. Yep. So yes, thank you guys for watching. Follow me, Twitter, Tumblr, whatever I put down there. Like this video if you loved it. Freaking, or even you hated it, like it. Freaking, make me famous. You know, I love you guys. Peace. I'll see you next time.